Hello and welcome to the Business Debate. I'm Nadira Tudor and today we're talking about early years provision. Childcare in the UK has become an increasingly hot topic, and to discuss the challenges the sector faces, we're joined in the studio by Samantha Beere, one of the directors of Morton Michel, the UK market leader in childcare insurance. Samantha, welcome to the London Stock Exchange studios.
Thank you, it's lovely to be here.
Childcare is a hot topic at the moment. Can you explain to me what the issues are surrounding this sector?
Yes, it is a hot topic at the moment. There's been a huge amount of interest by all the political parties in the last few years in the sector, and in some ways that's lovely because it's a sector that hasn't had much recognition over the years. But in other ways it is quite a challenge, as the interest has thrown up some challenges for the industry as a whole. What
are those challenges?
I think there are a number of challenges for childcarers at the moment. One is the nature and the consistency and frequency of Ofsted inspections. There are the introduction of new childminder agencies, which have caused something of a stir amongst childminders. And there are issues to do with ratios of supervisors of childcarers to children. I think the big challenge at the moment, though, is the government's rather surprising announcement of 33 funded hours of childcare.
That's kind of a lot, isn't it?
It is a lot, and it's more than any of the other political parties were offering at the last general election. So when the Conservatives got in and now making good on their promise, it does raise some challenges for the industry. I think it was a promise, I think it was an election pledge that appealed very much to parents, but whether the child carers can deliver it is another matter.
Can you explain to me why the child carers would find that a problem to deliver 33 hours?
One of the big issues, of course, is funding. The government has pledged £650 million and the industry is saying it needs closer to about £1.6 billion.
That's a huge difference, isn't it?
It is a huge gap, and the government, I think, are going to be forced to do a full spending review, full look at the costs of that. But if child carers if they are not going to pay child carers enough money to be able to do it, then child carers can't run at a loss. So will they be able to offer those 33 hours to parents, however valuable it may be to the parents? Can the child carers actually offer it?
So one of the problems that there are in the UK is that not every area provides the same kind of child support for parents. So, for example, a school might have an after-school club in one area, but not another. Do you think it's ever going to be the case that every area will be able to offer the same type of childcare for parents?
It can be patchy. In some rural areas they do struggle to provide a full range of childcare options, and in some deprived areas as well. One of the solutions we've seen is that some local authorities, in particularly in deprived areas, have been able to access different funding, and they've been able to help nurseries, for example, get going, and that's been a help for those deprived areas to be able to offer that kind of childcare. But yes, it can be patchy across the country. I think the government are trying to make sure that there are initiatives to help new child carers into the profession, but it is difficult. It is traditionally quite a low pay profession, and it is quite hard to produce that growth.
So in your view, how is that growth going to be provided?
I think the government has to tackle the problem of declining numbers of registered child carers. There's also the issue of nanny regulation. At this moment, nannies are the only unregulated child carers in the UK. They're not required to be registered or regulated, and therefore they are not eligible for the 33 hours of funded childcare. They could make a big difference to the sheer numbers in the childcare workforce if nannies were regulated and registered and then able to offer the 33 hours of funded childcare. Those are all different options available to the government.
Do you think that there are any solutions to the childcare problems that we are facing here in the UK?
I think there are a number of solutions to the childcare issues, childcare challenges currently being faced. One thing for child carers in terms of offering the 33 hours of funded childcare would be that if they could group together and offer a more joined up solution to parents. I think that would be more flexible for the parents if we could find a system that could facilitate it. So, for example, childminders getting together with preschools and out of school clubs to offer a whole range of solutions to parents so that they can offer those funded hours.
How do you see the future in terms of childcare in this country?
I think there are challenges, but I think what you have is a very dedicated, innovative, hard-working industry, and they are prepared, if they possibly can, to offer the very best childcare. We know there are some fantastic childcare settings out there. I think the important thing is that the government listens to the childcare industry. This is an industry that started in the early 1960s with the playgroup movement, and ever since then has grown and developed and been creative. You know, it's from playgroups, which then turned into preschools, and out of that grew childminders and big day nurseries and out of school clubs. This is an industry that can keep on growing and keep responding to all the challenges in order to be able to provide really good joined up childcare solutions to the parents of this country. But I think they need to be helped by the government, and I think they need to be funded better by the government.
Samantha, thank you very much for joining us here in the studio.
Thank you.